The summer season here in Okoboji isn't just for Iowans and those here that live in the Iowa Great Lakes. They bring in students from across the world to get a taste of Iowa culture and experience a summer of fun they will never forget. Snow emergencies are being declared across Siouxland, and travel conditions, as Kat mentioned, are deteriorating the further north you go. This is video from Sanborn, Iowa on Highway 59. It's courtesy of Iowa State Patrol. In nearby Sioux County, the plows were pulled from the road around noon until tomorrow morning due to those poor conditions. The Iowa DOT followed suit just a few hours later throughout northwest Iowa. Several other counties in our area are under towing bans tonight. Larry, we're down here in the 1600 block of Pierce Street at the Ida Apartments. You can see them behind me. I'm going to step out of the frame so you can get a better look. I'm in the Sioux City metro area where we've seen our largest snowfall in almost 5 years, actually nearly 5 years to date. January 22nd, 2018 was the last time the Sioux City, Iowa metro area saw 8 or more inches of snow. That year we saw 12.1 inches. Here we're probably a little over 8 overall in the Sioux City metro. So it's been snowing for about 14 hours, started about 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Well, Diana, not even 24 hours after that first 911 call was made here in Laurel, Nebraska State Patrol have a man in custody. For the first time in decades, Iowa farmers will be charged a fee for each bushel of corn, soybeans, and other grains they sell in the market. That quarter penny per bushel fee is required by state law to replenish a fund that covers losses when grain elevators and feed companies file for bankruptcy. 3 such bankruptcies in the last year have depleted the fund to the point where the state law requires the fee be charged starting July 1st. That's in order to get the fund back above $8 million. The Iowa Department of Agriculture says this will be the first time that fee has been charged since 1989. The response to the Satartia rupture was highly flawed. A report by PHMSA, the Governmental Pipeline Oversight Agency, says first responders around Satartia were not informed of the pipeline rupture by the pipeline company or the safety risk with CO2. That left them essentially guessing on how to properly respond. Now, the rupture was reported at 7:06 p.m. The first emergency call came in a short time later at 7:15 for reports of a foul smell and a green fog in the air, leaving emergency responders essentially thinking it was a chlorine leak in the water supply. Now, it wasn't until about 7:43 p.m., a full 30 minutes after that rupture, that emergency personnel discovered they were dealing with CO2. Now, this delay in information would be one of the biggest changes for safety in CO2 pipeline construction moving forward. Well, I have my pork chop in a glove. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll see you down here at the Plymouth County Fair, Diana, Larry.
Diana, incidents like this don't happen in communities like Laurel, Nebraska. That's the message we're hearing from community members tonight. This is a town of just over 1,000 people, and now 4 people are dead at 2 separate crime scenes, and there's a lot of law enforcement on scene tonight investigating.
Thanks, Diana. Well, Reg Bright organizers have been preparing for this for a long time, and they have now been passing out signs just like these for homeowners to place in their homes if they're available for storm shelters should that need arise. And that preparation could be put to the test this weekend. The Sioux City City Council made several proclamations tonight to recognize numerous good causes during the month of May. Mayor Pro Tem Dan Moore recognized May as Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women's Month, Foster Family Awareness Month, and Mental Health Awareness Month. Police in Lincoln are releasing more information about an unusual crime yesterday. A woman identified as 27-year-old Taylor Bradley has been arrested on 2 counts of second-degree murder after the death of 2 men. Police say Bradley purposely located the victims, 2 maintenance men who were in a grassy area of her apartment complex, and hit them with her car. Police are still trying to figure out a motive.
Turning to weather now, well, it looks like we lucked out when it came to the snow overnight.
But some other parts of the tri-state not so lucky, Kat. The wife of Woodbury County Supervisor Jeremy Taylor is facing dozens of charges of voter fraud in federal court. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Katie Copple in for Larry Wentz, and tonight those charges are first at 5 o'clock. Court documents list a total of 52 charges against 49-year-old Kim Taylor, 26 counts of providing false information in registering and voting, 3 counts of fraudulent registration, and 23 counts of fraudulent voting. Prosecutors claim Taylor perpetrated a scheme to generate votes for her husband in his unsuccessful 2020 primary campaign for the U.S. House and in his successful 2020 general election bid for the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors, where he is currently the vice chairman. That scheme took the form of submitting herself or convincing others to submit voter registration forms, absentee ballot request forms, and absentee ballots containing false information. If convicted, she faces up to 5 years in prison on each count. We've reached out to the Taylor family for comment, but have not heard back. Matthew Ung, the chairman of the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors, tells Siouxland News this afternoon. The indictment is shocking news, and we are digesting it along with everyone else. Two South Dakota governors are speaking to lawmakers today about their priorities for this year's legislative sessions. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Katie Copple in for Larry Wentz. And tonight, that story is first at 5 o'clock. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem gave the first State of the State speech of her second term to lawmakers as they began their 2023 session in Pierre today. Her speech focused on three main themes: building the American dream, promoting stronger families, and securing South Dakota. In the first, she focused on her push to repeal the state's sales tax on groceries.